Welcome back to a brand new Bullet Points. What's your name?
Judd Dunning.
What's my name?
Michael Loftus.
Okay, we got 5 big topics. We got 2 minutes per topic. It's the fastest 17 to 28 minutes on the internet.
Finally.
Right?
Yeah.
We're honing in on a time frame.
You've grown. This is a breakthrough for you.
That's right. I'm maturing as a performer and as a man. So let's run down our 5 bullet points for this week. Numero uno.
Bullet point number 1. Ding dong, pedo-freak Epstein is dead, but how, who, and why remain alive and well.
Mysterious. Bullet point number 2.
Guns in America. The conversation continues, the real stats, and how's that down under gun buyback really doing?
Bullet point number 3.
Hong Kong gone wrong. No, it's okay.
I was dancing on the edge.
Dancing on the edge. Riots, more riots amidst a massive China 1997 Hong Kong Treaty Takeback.
We're going to have a discussion about these titles.
Indeed.
Bullet point number 4.
Justice CRACK ALAKA smackdown.
I like it.
Okay.
That had a rhythm to it.
AG Barr urges a swift death penalty for mass shooters, cop killers, and slams social justice prosecutors.
We're out of time. That's our show. Bullet point number 5.
In God and South Dakota we trust. States' right and religious freedom win.
I'm very excited about this show. Stick around. Don't forget, we got a wild card.
We do. Every week.
Okay, I'm in. I'm excited. These topics, I'm digging them. So let's jump in. We're gonna stick to time. I know I say this every week. It's my mantra. It's my transcendental meditation.
Well, you keep channeling that into yourself, and then always don't forget to get your last point out after the buzzer.
Okay, yeah, I will.
All right.
So bullet point number 1 is
boom.
Bing bang.
Pedo-Freak Epstein is dead. Apparent suicide this week. So let's. I think we all know what's going on here. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. Great. So listen, his suicide. We're all aware of what's been going on in Pedogate. His suicide. I cannot stand this guy. Part of me is like hates the sex trafficking world. Part of me loves the fact that we're going to dig into the justice. It was a horrible week there. The Clinton conspiracy's up. We don't know what happened at the jail. And at the end, but justice continues to move forward. Michael Loftus.
Justice better move forward, because this is too damn shady. Listen, you guys, the one good thing in all this, it's bringing people on the left and people on the right together, because everybody can agree, no way in hell. This dude had already tried to kill himself once, and they go, oh, that wasn't a real suicide attempt. Somebody attacked him, and you're like, why is anybody in there with him? Like, why was he not under 24-hour surveillance? How is this dude not on suicide watch? Why did he have anything in
the
his
highest
cell?
profile prisoner in the United States?
He's got dirt on the royal family. He's got dirts on heads of state. He's got dirts
governors.
On billionaires, everybody. Like, the list of people who went to Lolita Island and beyond is 1,000,000 miles long. I wanted this dude to talk, and a lot of people wanted him dead.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose faith in, faith in the FBI, shaky ground. Faith in the DOJ, shaky ground. Now the corrections facilities and the chain of command there, no, this is horrible.
But Barr, who got us through the Mueller crisis, right? I mean, he said, let me assure you this case will continue on against anyone who's complicit with Epstein. Any co-conspirators should not rest easy. The victims deserve justice, and they get it. So now it's a watching game to see what's going to really come out. I mean, I hope we actually dig to the very bottom.
We have to, but here's what killed me. So, like, Epstein, killed himself. He was suicided on Saturday.
Suicide.
Right? And here we are days later, and the FBI raided his estate. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
What took so long?
Right.
The guy's been in custody for 1,000,000 years.
Right.
It reeks.
What was in a lot of the people sat down there, if they actually interviewed around his island, said they've been waiting for this to happen forever. They were happy. They were tired of seeing the young women for years and years and years.
People down in the West Palm Beach area, they've been screaming it from the rooftops.
Let's clean up government, though. Let's get to the bottom of the government, because if people are involved in sex trafficking, goodbye. They're out.
Oh, absolutely.
They're out.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Bullet point number dose. We're dropping a dose of knowledge on you. We're talking about guns in America, and is this we're also going to be dipping into the old Australian gun buyback.
Little down under buyback. Can you do the accent? Because I decimate every region.
Right, we're going to be talking about the gun buyback down under.
Throw a little button, yeah,
I'm going to throw a little AK on the babby. All right, listen, it is a gun culture. I'm starting. Put 2 minutes on the clock. I can't wait. Well, this is America. We got the Second Amendment, and we need guns. I'm not saying we want guns. I'm saying we need guns. And here's the reason: to protect ourselves from tyranny. This isn't about hunting, and it's not about sports and any of that stuff. It's about if things go horribly wrong at the top, the American people can defend themselves and can defend their property and take the country back.
It's about Hong Kong. I mean, there's your perfect example. We're going to get that later. But that's perfectly it. Right? Did I fade for it? But
yeah.
the big issue, though, is the Washington Post, and while we're bringing this up, there's this national article with Mother Jones, the Washington Post, that took mass shootings out of context. There's been 9,086 gun shootings this year, Michael Loftus. There's been 53 that were in mass shootings. We own 393 million guns. We're actually an extremely free and extremely responsible culture, but we're getting Mitch McConnell, and Trump is even thinking about universal background checks, going further and further into this freedom. So that's the crisis.
Here's something you've never going to hear. Like, okay, we'll admit we have a boatload of guns. I'm okay with that, and the vast majority of gun owners are highly responsible. Okay, so mass shootings, while it's horrible, but it's like, in a strange way, fascinating and shocking, because it's a bunch of people all at once.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a lot of other things that are killing a lot more people that just never stop, like hospital doctor
infections and maloperations,
and bad operate, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So and automobiles and suicides, and I tell you what, the handgun deaths. Baltimore, just a couple weeks ago, they've already had 300 murders for the year. Chicago's like murder central. So while mass shootings are horrible, spectacular and horrible, listen, we have to talk about how we value human life. If you don't value another human being's life, you're going to kill them with whatever you got.
That's the underlying issue.
With a knife, you're going to kill them with a truck. You're going to kill them with a whip.
I think it's the isolation. I think it has so much to do with technology and the isolation of the individuals, though, because there's a way now people can stalk, they can get information, they can plan, they can copy. But meanwhile, the only thing we can protect people with is our moral structure of our society.
That is true. Now, just to say one quick thing about the Australian gun buyback.
Right.
Did it affect mass shootings? Maybe a little. Did it affect murder? Maybe a little.
It did. It did. But, at the same time, the relative amount that's turned in is still not the entire amount of guns. I mean, 10,000 guns were just turned in out of 1.2 million in New Zealand. Yeah. It's 10,000 guns. I mean,
and when you're lying in your bed awake at night and a platypus comes crawling up on you, you're going to wish you had a revolver. Uh-oh. All right, we've wasted too much time on that. Bullet point number 3.
I'm still stuck on platypus. I'm like, how do I tag that? I don't know what to
poisonous.
do.
You don't realize
that.
Oh,
they're dangerous.
There's a poisonous spur on
everything
the back.
in Down Under is poisonous, pretty much.
What a dumb place to give away your gun.
right, exactly.
Flour will kill you. All right, bullet point number 3. Hong Kong gone wrong. These poor souls.
Go.
A hell of a gong. 2 minutes on the clock. This is a fascinating issue. This is a fascinating issue because there's a long and storied tradition of good guy, bad guy. I'd recommend you all go to the Loftus Party on YouTube. Check out, I did a whole video just on this subject.
Great video.
This goes all the way back to the Opium Wars, and that's when Britain got a hold of Hong Kong. They held on to that for a long time. Meanwhile, China is no longer a royal family and an empire. They've gone communist. Hong Kong is a little tiny island of capitalism in the middle of communism, and they just started this thing. They started in 1997, where they're going to segue back into communism. That China is going to, after over 100 years, they're finally going to get Hong Kong back. So all these poor souls.
It was. They call it the holdover, right? What do they call it?
Two
the
states,
handover.
one rule.
Yeah, the handover. When they gave it back, they would keep their hands off of their economy.
Right. Right. So they're transitioning back into
Communism,
China.
yeah, they're pulling it back.
2047. The process started in 1997, and in 2047, Hong Kong's back. So if you're a young person and you're in Hong Kong, you're like, I don't want to live under, like, you've known freedom and liberty and capitalism and a pretty great existence your whole life, and these poor kids. This new extradition thing is what really kicked it off.
On the anniversary of the handover, the original 1997 treaty, like 10,000 kids stormed the state assembly. At that point, saying they wanted to be able to extradite fugitives from Hong Kong to China, and that was
so
that.
The students didn't want that. China wanted to be able to come in and pluck citizens out of Hong Kong, take them to jail in China. And so the Chinese people are like, no. Well, we don't want that. I don't know what
the Hong Kong people.
Yeah, the Hong Kong people are just. You've got to be flipping out. You've got no way to fight for your independence. It's almost impossible to get a gun.
Yeah, but let's just say this: they are like Israel in the Middle East is a bastion of sanity. Hong Kong by China is a bastion of economic sanity. I mean, there's so much freedom there. I'm also in the financial markets. And people are saying, hey, we're waiting to get this out of communism. We're sending it here. We're doing the EB5. We're moving around. I mean, people are moving their money illegally to get around all the time anyway. It's getting tighter and tighter. So go for Hong Kong is, we have to, I don't know what Trump is doing right now. We have to continue to be vigilant to support them.
I don't know what we
can
can
afford
do.
it.
I don't know what we can do. It's going to be sad. I
Britain's
feel
legacy.
bad for him. Lots of, okay. Bullet point number 4. Bong, 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 bong. AG Barr.
Yeah.
We're digging Big Billy Barr.
Big Barr's doing a great job. Tough as nails. Tough as nails.
What did he do now, Judd Dunning?
AG was at the Fraternal Order of the Police Conference in New Orleans. He basically, like, we have to remember, the AG, although employed by the president, does have his ability to set his own mandates and to continue to march down the line. And sometimes Trump will throw something toward the center. He will definitely accommodate more, has a populist opinion. But AG came right out. He said, hey, mass shooters are going to be swiftly delivered justice. We're going to extradite justice. He said that we're going to go against the opioid epidemic. We're going to cut off the head of the snake, the cartels in Mexico. Chronic offenders that have been violent we're going to keep them behind bars longer, which is actually counterculture to what's happening out there. Zero tolerance for those that affect our police, and he called them prancing punks. So basically a huge law and order structure, which is what we need after mass shooting, not taking the rights from, this is kind of a theme of our show, not taking the rights from our citizens. So, another mark for AG. His whole career has been one of strength and power, in his opinion.
I am loving this dude.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Big Billy Barr right after he stepped into the office. Keep going. And I want more transparency. I still want to know about FISA abuse. Talk about Big Billy Barr. His desk has to be piled high with things that he.
And it's still coming in right now. There's still a ton
stops.
of information coming in about the Mueller report.
Oh yeah,
he's busy.
The Mueller report, the FISA abuse. I want to look into all it. Now he's got his hands full with how did Epstein die and all of that whole thing.
I think he's reaching a boiling point. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, we need strong law and order, right? That is the conservative opinion. It's like that's what holds us. Morals and values and regulations hold in the part of our character that can go out of control.
Protecting our personal property.
Right.
That's what it's all about. And when you see these kids in New York throwing buckets of water on cops and then hitting cops in the head with buckets, you gotta arrest those kids. You gotta.
I have to tell you a quick story.
Okay.
So today, some woman's getting robbed in front of my office, and I run out the street with a taser, and she's stealing a phone. Right, I run out there and I'm trying to get this guy, and I'm like, can I tase him? Can I not? Because this happened today. And then a cop comes up, they chase him across, and the cops, 15 cops came up, protected this woman. We all drove around the corner. They had us ID for what they call IDing the guy in the field. And the cops said, you know what, if more people were like you, they're like, we need people to get involved for justice. It was great. And I said, you know what, hey, this is the Pacific Division of Los Angeles. I said, you guys have come over into our neighborhood like 3 or 4 times, done a great job. And they're like, we need to hear that more.
Wow.
That's what, cops just want our support, moral, good support. Appropriate.
What Judd is trying to say is, with great power comes great responsibility. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm out there with a taser in the middle of the street. The guy takes his shirt off, goes up running, and I'm like, can I tase him? The cop's like, well, technically.
I love it. Helping out. Bullet point number 5.
All right. Oh, and this is a great one.
You're
This is a
very
great
excited
one.
about
Yeah,
this one.
I am excited about this one. So listen, self-disclosure, I grew up in the Christian, Judeo-Christian South.
No.
And this country, I believe, is undeniably built on principles of, I remember coming to school, and I remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance and praying. And you didn't have to pray. They just prayed. They're like, you don't have to, if you feel, you join in. And I knew every morning started with a little bit of God, a little bit of being proud for my country. And in South Dakota today, after just a complete attacks on the religious freedom, not today, over the last few weeks, they, In God You Trust will now be, because it's actually related to the federal government more than God itself, because it's a brand, right? It's going to be 149 school districts, and it's $2,800 each. They're putting them up, and they said it could offer a flicker of hope to a child who's struggling, even though it might not save the state's problem. So religious win, religious freedom win, Michael Loftus.
I like it.
That's great.
I like it. I got no problem. I like the motto, in God we trust. And yeah, I like it when the 10 Commandments are able to be displayed on public lands or whatever. You cannot get away from the fact that this country was founded by, you had the Pilgrims, who were like religious persecution. They came here.
Right.
They just wanted to be closer to God and do their whole thing.
Right.
Our system of government, our laws is based in the 10 Commandments. You cannot... I can dig the separation of church and state. Like, I don't want the government telling me how to worship, blah, 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 blah. But you can't take God out of the equation.
Well, very clearly, freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. Now, it's interesting you brought that point, because let me tell you, the Freedom from Religion Foundation said that our position is this is a terrible violation of freedom of conscience to inflict a godly message on a captive audience of innocent school children. I mean, come on. I mean, all we're talking about is morals and values, and the divine exists. At what point do we start pandering to this special class of people who didn't want to believe in something? Why are they so important? When our country devolves without God, family, and community into isolation, depression, anxiety, despondency, drug abuse, death, and gun violence. I mean, that's when you pull morals and values out. Why is that so complicated? If the left are progressive social engineers, wouldn't they be all about like, oh, let's use the falsity of religion to manipulate the masses? I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's a powerful way to manipulate people in a positive way. I mean, I want to be manipulated positively.
Okay, well, Judd had a nice little soapbox.
Is that my rant?
That was a rant. I'm not going to get in the way of that freight train of free thinking.
Thank you.
Let's promote some stuff.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So I just want to say it was great seeing you on Tucker again last week, my man.
That was fun. That was
he is one of the greatest minds out there, and it's so fun to watch him. And it's great to see you go neck and neck. I mean, he's brought you on a number of times. I mean, what's it like being on the show with him?
I'm getting the hang of it. You know, there's that weird thing. It's the little satellite delay, and he's a very funny dude. And the problem is his laugh isn't. He seems when he laughs, he seems genuinely pleased about stuff. And then that makes me laugh, and I'm like, what do you? You know what? To turn into Fox News and watch. Here we go live to two grown men.
Yeah, because you guys both have a higher aloof laugh too.
Okay, so that was a lot of fun. My big announcement is this: we're adding 16 new stand-up dates.
Wow.
For MAGA country comedy. So go to theloftusparty.com. We're going to add 16 new cities. We're going to add more after that. The personnel on the show is outrageous. It's a great night. It's super funny. So go to loftusparty.com and get tickets, because I guarantee we're coming to a city near you. Bang, bang, boom. Judd Dunning.
Nice, nice. I'm excited for your new tour. I mean, last year was the Deplorables, and this year it's MAGA Country Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Congratulations. I am continuing to do Bullet Points with Michael Loftus and our book, and I'm trying to tase people in the street during criminal activities. That was my highlight. That was the highlight of my year, actually. I'm going to try to tase somebody every day, Michael. That's my new thing. Come on over, Venice and Centinela, if you want to get a good tasing.
Change the title of your book to 14 Reasons Why.
14 Reasons
and
Why.
The 14th reason is you get to tase people.
That's right. I'm moral and I'm just. What are you doing? No, I'm
All
kidding.
right. It's time for our wild card.
Woo!
And the wild card this week is...
The wild card is undeniably in the news. It's Chris Cuomo.
We know
melting
him better.
down.
We know him as Fredo.
It's Fredo.
Fredo Cuomo.
Fredo, I'll effing ruin your SIT. Chris Cuomo. Do we curse on the show?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We're family friendly.
Okay. It absolutely loses it when somebody called him.
Hopefully you guys have seen this clip. But here's what I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've seen the clip where Fredo Cuomo was like, I'll ruin you, I'll throw you, like very, very mad. But like, I don't know how this was set up. I don't know. Like,
well, he was set up. I mean, that's the thing. I think we have to have some. Listen. I love the left and the right. I refuse to target other American citizens, call them stupid or idiotic, like the other side often does to the right. To be honest, I just don't think that's what the moral high road is. I mean, the guy was off duty, and somebody came up to him and started using the InfoWars, the Rush Limbaugh name for him, which is Fredo.
Yeah.
And they were obviously punking him because they had the phone down here and they were driving to the edge, and then they pushed him until he said, no punk-ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. I'm an anchor on CNN. Fredo was on The Godfather. He was the weak brother. And then you're using it as an Italian aspersion. Are any of you Italian? It's a effing insult to your people. It's an insult to your effing people. It's like the N-word to us. That is so cool effing thing. I mean, he railed. But he was set up. So what do you think?
Listen, I got to say before we run out of time, when he says that's like the N-word to us, like, listen, I just watched a clip of Anna Navarro on his show calling Donald Trump Jr. Fredo, and Fredo Cuomo just sat there and blinked.
Yeah.
Was not, so to pretend like, oh, this is like, and here's the other thing, like by him being so outraged, oh, I'm so outraged, you are forever now known as Fredo Cuomo. That's like, you cannot escape that nickname.
Right. You might as well milk it. You might as well brand it, you know, get it on the internet. I mean, but the thing about the N-word, though, is pretty funny because, seriously, Fredo is not a racist slam. It's a movie reference.
Yeah, it's silly. Now, to your point, I don't like this idea of confrontations with these people when they're off the clock.
Yeah,
I really don't like it.
Five today.
I don't like it when the guys, when they confronted Brian Kilmeade from Fox News, and they were like trying to get him beat up on the New York subway. I don't like the confrontation with Cuomo. No, it's not good. I don't like it when people are chased out of restaurants. I don't want people...
invasion of personal privacy.
Oh, it's no good.
Right, but at the same time, free speech, you get to challenge it. But this was, he was being set up. I take no pleasure in him breaking down. You ought to see me as a parent on occasion. I mean, like, we have these moments. So, you know, yes, he needs to change his politics, but he broke down. So what, right?
Right. So he will forever be known as Fredo Cuomo. That's our show-o. That was bullet points.
Very good,
good one.
Very good, yes.
You know what? We got 2 shows a week now, you guys.
2 shows a week. So Single Shot, which is coming up in a few days. We're usually out there Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday, Sunday. They vary about 24 hours, depending on demand from all over.
And Single Shot is the flip of this. We do one topic for like 5 to 6 minutes. So we dig in a little deeper. It's super fun. Make sure you're watching that.
And share and like and tell your friends, because you know what? It's not that easy to get conservative media out there. The search engines, it's changing. So we're really depending upon you and our viewers, and we're getting some great comments. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, we're fighting the algorithm. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We are fighting the Matrix.